Hello, my friends. Good evening. This is Tassif, and I'm here with a new live stream. And it is great to see that our friends have already tuned in. I can see Frank from Florida. I can see Kay Cooper. I can see Cherise. I can see Richard Miller. And I'm sure that others will also be tuning in. My friends, thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to support this channel. I think we're seeing great momentum. You've seen the last week or two. We've gotten many views, lots of subscriptions. And so, our community is growing. We were in the 13,000 subscriber mark. Now we're past 14,500. We're going to get to 15,000 hopefully soon, and then 20,000. Isn't that going to be awesome? I see Evelyn is here. Evelyn, good evening. Thanks for being here. Ken is here. Hello, Ken. Ken from Appleton. Good to see you, Ken. All right. So, my friends, I'm going to start today's live stream, but before that, I just want to remind everyone, please subscribe. To those who are watching, you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And also like this video, share this video, okay? My friends, structures need to be updated, right? I mean, we're talking about physical structures, buildings, houses, okay, residential properties, commercial structures, structures physically built. Those structures need to be updated, renovated. Improvements must be made. And that is exactly what President Donald J. Trump is doing when we talk about the White House grounds. Okay? My friends, President Donald J. Trump is improving the White House. He's making the White House better than ever before. President Trump is not only making America great again, he's making the White House great again. He has made different changes inside the White House, right? He talks about it very often, especially the Oval Office. He made some great changes inside the Oval Office, and now we're talking about a ballroom, okay? A ballroom. And so before we go to that discussion of the ballroom, I just want to say, think about your personal lives, okay? I don't know if you live in an apartment or you live in a condo or you live in a house, or what kind of living arrangement you have. But let's say you've got your own property, okay? Let's just assume for simplicity that you have a house, okay? Could be a ranch, could be, two-story duplex, whatever. You've got a house. And when you buy a house, you start living in that house, you have to make periodic improvements, right? You have to get the roofing done, okay? If your roof is not up to standard, maybe there are issues, maybe it's leaking, whatever, you have to upgrade your roof. And then you may have to improve the driveway also. You may need to hire a contractor and get some work done on your driveway, especially when you're talking about, let's say a place like Wisconsin, where in the summer it's kind of hot, warm, hot, the certain days it's really hot. But then in the winter, we may be down to like 30 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 30 degrees. Okay, I'm not talking about positive 30 degrees, negative 30 degrees, negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit with wind chill. It's just bitter cold. And so structures go through those cycles of extreme heat and extreme cold. And so what needs to happen is that structures need renovation, upgrades, okay? So it's part of owning property. If you own a house, you have to do those repairs, you have to do the maintenance, so on and so forth. And so, my friends, even inside, forget about the weather. Even inside, you have to Maybe your kitchen is old and you need to upgrade your kitchen. Maybe you need new appliances. Maybe you need to, change the color. Maybe uh, get better, paint. Maybe your cabinets are falling apart because they're old and now you need to get new cabinets. Whatever it may be, you understand what I'm talking about. Inside and outside, you have to make changes. You have to do upgrades. And so when we think about the White House, I mean, it's the people's house, absolutely. We, the American taxpayers, we the voters, we elect presidents, and the presidents then reside in the White House for the duration of their term. And so we want to make sure that the White House also goes through upgrades and renovations and so on and so forth. And President Trump is the one who's going to do it. President Donald J. Trump, he is spending his own time and energy in making sure that we do the necessary renovations on the White House grounds, not just inside, but also the exterior. And who's better than President Trump to do this? I mean, Donald J. Trump, forget president, forget that title. Think about the man, Donald J. Trump. He spent his entire life in real estate before entering politics, building amazing properties. I mean, have you seen his portfolio? Listen, you just have to go to the website of the Trump business, the Trump organization, and then you have to look at the portfolio of the properties they have. Look at the hotels. The hotel in Chicago, by the way, that Chicago hotel, it is so beautiful, okay? It is so beautiful, the hotel in Chicago. And I'm pointing because I live in Wisconsin. Illinois is sort of in that direction, okay? So I'm just pointing towards Illinois where Chicago is. It is a beautiful hotel. And then you look at, we got our friend Evelyn here. So I'm going to ask Evelyn, okay, EHR. Evelyn goes by the screen name EHR. Evelyn, you are in Vegas. What would you say about the Trump Hotel in Vegas? Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that a beautiful property, Evelyn? Because I know the one in Chicago is amazing. It's super. And I know the one in Vegas is also amazing. And there are properties not just all over the United States, but all over the world. Evelyn's saying it is one of the most beautiful for sure. So our friend Evelyn in Las Vegas, Nevada is saying that it's the most beautiful. And so President Trump, he's not only a real estate person. He understands beauty. He understands art. He understands, not just building buildings, but making buildings look amazing. Because I gotta be honest with you, there are some really high-end properties, especially if you go to like California, where all the multi-million-dollar buildings are. You will find a lot of really super high-end, technologically advanced, expensive multi-million-dollar houses that look like boxes, okay? If there's anyone here from California, can you just share your thoughts? By the way, our friend Tangerine is here. Tangerine, thank you for being here. Our friend Tangerine, always good to see you. Welcome, Tangerine. So you can go online and actually look at some of the properties in California, those high-end homes that are not just multi-million dollars, but sometimes tens of millions of dollars, all right? Might be $20 million. But you look at those properties, there's really no art. Yeah, of course, it's high-end materials, amazing view from the balcony, Maybe you press a button and all the shades go on one side, the windows open up on their own just with the press of a button. You got all the fancy stuff, all the gadgets, right? But when you look at those houses, I mean, those are just boxes, just literally just boxes. You're living inside boxes that cost a lot of money, and because the area is expensive, so you're paying a lot for the lot. But there's really no art. There's like no craft work, just expensive boxes. But so that's the difference. I'm trying to help you understand that President Trump is not just someone who's a developer. He understands art because the buildings he makes are beautiful, not just technologically advanced, not just built with amazing materials, but are like wonderful to look at. Okay, so when you look at the Trump Hotel in Chicago, you don't have to think about what kind of materials were used in the construction of the building. I'm sure the materials were great, but you just look at the hotel and you say that is an amazing building. And there are so many other buildings in downtown Chicago, and the Trump Hotel just stands out. It's like you look at it and you say this is wonderful. So when we talk about renovation being done in the White House, when we talk about upgrades being done in the White House, I mean, who can be a better person to make those decisions than our very own President Donald J. Trump? He understands what kind of upgrades the White House needs. And you got to understand, this is not a personal home, because there are people, dignitaries from all over the world, foreign leaders coming to the White House. As we have seen so many leaders from all over the world. We had the Italian leader, we had the Canadian leader, we got Zelensky frequently visiting from Ukraine. I mean, Zelensky is like a frequent visitor, don't you think so? He's like, I'm going to the White House. And, he comes to the White House. And we got so many other, we got leaders from Africa, we got leaders from Latin America, we got leaders from all over, like, Asia, leaders from all over the world. They come to the White House, they meet with President Trump in the Oval Office. So the more beautiful the White House is, the more proud we, the American people, are going to be. If foreign leaders are visiting the White House and they're saying, we've been to so many places, but we have not been to a place like this. This is amazing. We've seen other presidential palaces. We've seen other big prime ministerial offices. We've seen other government buildings, where other heads of state they live and they conduct their business. But we have not seen anything like the White House. America is truly the greatest, and the White House is truly the most beautiful. And so what President Trump is doing is making the White House great again. He's making the White House greater than ever before. And so he's literally contributing his real estate knowledge, and no president would even think of making upgrades. I mean, do you think that Joe Biden was thinking, we need to improve the things around here? Do you think he even understood what kind of improvements are needed, what kind of upgrades, what kind of renovation would be needed? Do you think Joe Biden even spent a second thinking about that? I don't think so. I don't think so. And what do you think? So let's assume that Kamala Harris is in the White House. Just imagine, alternate reality. Let's assume she got elected president and she's in the White House. Do you think she would be thinking about making the White House more beautiful? I don't think so. So Donald Trump has taken the lead in constructing a ballroom as an extension on White House grounds. Okay? And President Trump, actually, it was yesterday that he posted on Truth Social, he said that he's pleased to announce that ground has been broken on the White House grounds to build the new, big, beautiful White House ballroom. Completely separate from the White House itself, the East Wing is being fully modernized. Modernized. Focus on this word, because everyone must agree that we need modernization. Keeping politics aside, my friends, you don't have to bring in Democrat, Republican, Independent, Conservative, Liberal, Progressive, far left, radical, far left. Don't bring political affiliation in the discussion. This is our White House. We, the American people, we're proud of the White House. And what President Trump is doing on the White House grounds, he is modernizing the East Wing. Can anyone here say, no, we don't want modernization? No, we don't want modernization. You don't want modernization? Don't you buy the new smartphones that come out? Don't you replace your laptop? Some people do it every year. Some people do it once every few years. Some people wait a little longer, but at some point you have to upgrade everything. You have to modernize, right? You need a new phone. You need a new laptop, whenever that may be. I waited like 4 years to upgrade my phone, and I kind of had to. You know why? Because I was doing streams and so many video recording using my old phone that towards the end of its life, the battery would just die within a couple hours. Like I would charge it and it would die. The battery would die within a couple hours. So I needed to constantly charge it throughout the day, and it just didn't make any sense. And so I had to upgrade my phone. Now I've got the I've got the Samsung S25 Ultra, which is what I'm using for this live stream, and you can probably tell that the video quality is much improved. Anyway, keeping that aside, it was a necessity, but I had to do it because the old phone wasn't working for me. It wasn't serving its purpose anymore. So we need modernization, okay? We need modernization. And even old cars, you need to, you can have your car as an antique, but after a certain number of years, you may need to modernize. You may need to get a latest model or a newer model, if not the latest. So this is what President Trump is doing. The East Wing is being fully modernized as part of this process, and he promised to the American people that this will be more beautiful than ever when it is complete. Now, President Trump is also providing some history. He's saying, for more than 150 years, every president has dreamt about having a ballroom at the White House to accommodate people for grand parties, state visits, etc. I am honored to be the first president to finally get this much-needed project underway with zero cost to the American taxpayer. This is what you need to understand. If nothing else, zero cost to the American taxpayer, okay? Because, I understand some liberals out there, they might say, oh, he's using taxpayer money to do this. Here's the issue with the left. The left, the far left, the progressives and all that, you know what they do? They love government spending. The left loves government spending. The left comes up with all kinds of earmark projects. Oh, they're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to do... they come up with all kinds of projects, like especially the solar projects, the wind projects. Oh my God, the left loves those ugly wind turbines. The ugly, ugly wind turbines. Have you ever seen a wind turbine on a farmland? The wind turbines are so ugly. But you know what? The left, you talk to the folks like AOC, the Green New Scam people, the far left loves spending. millions, billions of taxpayer dollars on nonsense like wind turbines. Then they don't care. They're like, oh, we need the wind turbines, the wind turbine destroying American farmland. They don't care. The left doesn't care. The left loves wind turbines. And they're willing to put millions and billions of dollars on expanding wind turbines all over the country. Those ugly, ugly stuff, the wind turbines. If you've ever seen one, beautiful country. I see it here in Wisconsin, all right? That's why I'm saying. I go out to western Wisconsin, southwest Wisconsin. I'm driving through beautiful countryside, beautiful road. You can see the greenery. You can see the trees in the distance. You can see the houses big and small. You can see the farms. You can see the cows. You know, amazing, amazing, beautiful countryside. And you keep driving and then you see something in the distance like, that really doesn't belong here. What is that? And you get closer and closer and you see an ugly wind turbine. And you keep driving, you see more, you see more, you see more. Wind turbines after wind turbines destroying beautiful countryside. But the left is willing to spend all kinds of money on promoting those ugly, ugly, super ugly wind turbines. But you know what? When it comes to improving the White House, even when President Trump is saying that it's going to be zero cost to American taxpayers, the left's going to be like, oh, taxpayer money being wasted, blah, blah, blah. No. Taxpayer money is not being used. Zero. Do you understand what a zero means? Zero means zero, nothing, zero. When President Trump says zero cost to American taxpayers, he means zero, not $1, not $2, not $3, $0. There's no taxpayer dollar being spent on building this big, beautiful ballroom on White House grounds, all right? So I want you to understand that. And whenever somebody from the left says, oh, he's spending taxpayer dollars, just keep in mind that the left loves spending money on a lot of unnecessary stuff, on a lot of wasteful stuff. Okay? If the left tries to portray that, oh, they are so fiscally responsible about taxpayer, no, they spend money on things you won't believe, okay? Doge did great work. We don't talk about Doge as much anymore, okay, because there are so many other things in the news cycle that people are talking about. But Doge did amazing work in exposing the Democrat waste, how the Democrats, left-wing folks in positions of power, how they wasted money. So whenever someone says, oh, Trump is spending taxpayer dollars on doing all these things on the White House ground, no, he's not. And don't you tell me, you left-wing activist, that you care about fiscal responsibility, because the left is the group that spends unbelievable sums of money on absolute garbage stuff, okay? So let's just be very clear. No taxpayer dollars are being used to build this ballroom, much needed ballroom, okay? It's not something that is like, oh, you know, we can have it, but if we don't have it, it's okay. No, it's much needed. It is necessary. Okay? We got the White House. We need a space where our country can host dignitaries, do, you know, events for state visits and grand parties. It's necessary. And so I'm glad President Trump is doing what he is doing, and it's at zero taxpayer dollar, okay? Understand this. President Trump made it very, very clear, okay? The White House ballroom is being privately funded by many generous patriots, great American companies, and yours truly, meaning President Trump, okay? He's bearing a lot of the cost. And President Trump has said this ballroom will be happily used for generations to come. For generations to come. He is doing it for the future generations. So you got to focus on the fact that it's going to cost $0 to the American taxpayers. And I'm going to give you one example of wasteful spending, because I know there are some folks on the left here who are probably watching, and some of you seem to be very active in the live chat. And, you know, you're probably saying, Tassif is lying. All right, whatever. My goal is always to present to you the facts. Okay? And so that's what I'm going to do. What many politicians and bureaucrats do is they spend huge sums of taxpayer money. We've seen that. Just think about, as an example, because, you know, I think I need to give you another example. Just think about what's happening at the Federal Reserve. Have you paid any attention to what's happening at the Federal Reserve? By the way, my friends, make sure that you're subscribing, okay? That's important that you subscribe. I just needed to remind everyone, if you are here, if you are watching this, make sure that you're hitting the subscribe button, okay? I would appreciate that very, very much, because we're trying to grow the size of this amazing community that we have. Okay, so back to the discussion. Think about what's happening at the Federal Reserve. There's a construction project going on at the Federal Reserve, and you know how much money that is costing us? And that's taxpayer money being used. Do you understand? Do you know? Do you know the figure? Can you make a guess? Do you think it's a few thousands? Do you think it's tens of thousands? Do you think it's a couple $1,000,000 bucks? Maybe tens of millions? Hundreds of millions of dollars? Do you think so? No, it's costing us billions with a B, okay? Focus on the facts that I'm presenting to you. Billions of dollars, all right? President Trump highlighted this to the American people. He presented the number $3.1 billion. That's the kind of government spending that the Federal Reserve folks are doing for the construction project at the Federal Reserve. $3.1 billion just for the construction project at the Federal Reserve. Who in the world thinks this is okay? Who in the world thinks it is okay to spend $3.1 billion for a construction project at the Federal Reserve? Now, if you are not shocked enough, I'm going to present to you some more information, and you're going to be even more shocked. Get ready, because if you have somehow managed to absorb the shock that, oh, they're spending $3.1 billion, I'm shocked, but you know what? I'm going to absorb that. All right, let's move on. Let me tell you what should actually have been spent instead of $3.1 billion. President Trump said that fixing up a building like the Federal Reserve could be done using $50 to $100 million. Oh my God. They're spending. You got to think about this. You got to think about this. I'm going to give you a moment so you can absorb that shock. They're spending $3.1 billion where the spending should have been under $100 million. Forget billion. It should have been, as President Trump said, anywhere between $50 million to $100 million. But they're spending $3.1 billion. Folks, Understand what the numbers mean. These are taxpayer dollars. Something that should cost $50 million to $100 million, are you, as a taxpayer, okay with the same thing costing $3.1 billion? Now, Donald Trump is an experienced real estate developer, and he's highly successful, and I don't think anyone can dispute that. He is highly, highly successful. People all over the world look at the amazing, the marvelous properties that President Trump, before becoming president, obviously Donald Trump throughout his life, that he developed, that his company worked on. Wonderful properties all over the world, amazing. And when President Trump says that the Federal Reserve could be renovated using $50 million to $100 million, and instead it's costing the American taxpayers $3.1 billion. This is the kind of waste that we, the American people, have to deal with. I mean, American people are feeling helpless when they hear that the Federal Reserve, they're spending $3.1 billion. Taxpayers hear that information and they feel helpless. They say, we didn't authorize that. We're not okay with that. Freshly is here. Freshly, good to see you. Our friend Freshly just joined. And let's see if anyone else is here. Lots of friends here. Lots of friends here. Good to see you all. Thanks for being here. Listen. People feel helpless. Like, I want to ask you that question. You, as an American taxpayer, when you find out that the Federal Reserve is spending $3.1 billion, are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? Do you feel like standing up and saying, hey, I don't want that. I don't want that kind of spending. I'm not okay with my tax dollars being used for a construction project at the Federal Reserve that's going to cost billions. I'm not okay with that. So, my friends, this is the kind of waste that we, the American people, we sadly have to see. And just imagine how many great things could have been done using the $3 billion being wasted, more than $3 billion, being wasted on the Federal Reserve. Okay, $3.1 billion. Trump says it should cost anywhere from $50 million to $100 million. So let's say minus $100 million, $3 billion. That money could be used to do so many great things in the United States. There are so many projects that need to be funded. There are many needs in different states, in different cities. And $3 billion is a lot of money. But it's being wasted. So back to the discussion about the White House. President Trump is making sure that no taxpayer dollars are being used for this ballroom. Zero taxpayer dollars. And remember, this ballroom is not for President Trump. This ballroom is not for his administration. This ballroom, which we are all going to be very, very proud of, once it's constructed, once it's done, once it's finished, and people can actually get, I'm sure we will get to see some kind of an event. I'm sure President Trump's going to do some event to celebrate the opening, maybe a ribbon cutting ceremony, something like that. I think it's going to happen. I think once the ballroom is constructed, it's not going to be like, okay, it's done, but we the people, we're not seeing what's going on. We don't get a glimpse of the ballroom. I'm sure that there'll be some major event to celebrate this ballroom. the opening of this. And I'm sure that President Trump will open up the doors and let the media in, let a lot of people in, and show them so that they can broadcast to the American people so that we, even if we're sitting at home, we can see, oh, that's an amazing ballroom. And always keep in mind, zero taxpayer dollars being used. So, my friends, President Trump is making sure that even the private dollars are used properly and that the best materials are used and that the work is done efficiently without disruption. It is always President Trump's goal to deliver what he promised. Okay? Deliver more than promised. You always got to over-deliver, under-promise, over-deliver. Okay? On time, under budget. So this is going to be a great asset for the American people. And that is what you should understand, is the People's Ballroom. A lot of history will be created in this ballroom in the future. Many amazing gatherings, many excellent events will be held, and we are going to be very proud as Americans to know that the ballroom is being used for great purpose. My friends, but sadly, because of partisanship, because of all the insane rhetoric coming from the left, we do hear a lot of criticism about this ballroom, which I don't understand. Everyone's happy about the ballroom, but there are some folks who are not, and I don't understand their mindset. I don't understand how their brain functions. I don't understand what kind of thought process they have. How can anyone oppose the construction of a ballroom on the White House grounds, a place where many events will be held, where many foreign leaders will visit, and they'll see what a glorious ballroom it's going to be. But then, on also zero tax per dollar, but then there are some folks on the left who are just busy criticizing this decision. I'm going to talk about Hillary Clinton now. Okay? I'm going to talk about Hillary Clinton. Who wants to talk about Hillary? Hillary, the one who ran for president in 2016 and lost. You want to talk about Hillary? You want to talk about Hillary? Hillary Clinton came up with the idea of publishing a post on X to criticize this project. And you know what she wrote? She wrote, and I quote, "It's not his house. It's your house, and he's destroying it," end quote. Oh my God. I read that, and I said to myself, what in the world is she doing? She's telling the American people, hey, it's not his house, meaning it's not Trump's house. It's your house, meaning it's the house of the American people. And he's destroying it, meaning she's trying to say that Trump is destroying the White House. My friends, Hillary Clinton is saying that the White House is not President Trump's White House. Okay, well, President Trump never said that the White House is his house. And honestly, President Trump has many properties. Okay? He's got Mar-a-Lago. He's got so many other properties. He's got properties in New York and in other places around the country, around the world. And so, my friends, President Trump is not saying that the White House is his house. President Trump understands that the White House is the people's house. What he is doing is he's making improvements to the people's house. And do you remember the one former president who called the White House my house? There's one former president, can you guess the name, who actually called the White House his house? He said, it's my house. I'm going to wait for a little bit. Why don't you think about who I'm talking about? Can you make a guess? Let me know. Let me know, my friends. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to make a guess. So somebody's asking, what was the question? Oh, Evelyn's asking that. So President Trump never said that the White House is his house, but there's a former president who, when he was in office, called the White House his house. Do you know which president I'm talking about? That's right. That's right. Barack Obama. Barack Obama. You know what Barack Obama said? Barack Obama, during a White House event, there was a heckler in the audience, and Barack Obama, at the time President Barack Obama in the White House, he said to the heckler, he said, "Listen, you're in my house." This is the exact quote. He said, and I quote, "Listen, you're in my house," end quote. So you got to go watch that video online. If you're saying, "Oh, I don't believe you, Tassif," whatever you're saying, "I don't believe you. I'm going to fact check you." Go and fact check me. Barack Obama said that when he was in office in the White House during a White House ceremony. He said to a heckler, there was a heckler in the audience, and he said to the heckler, "Listen, you're in my house." So Barack Obama called the White House my house, meaning his house. And here's Hillary telling the American people, "Oh, the White House is not Donald Trump's house. It's your house." Did Hillary complain at the time? Did Hillary point out, "Hey, Barack Obama, why are you saying it's my house? It's not your house. It's the people's house." Did Hillary raise her voice? I believe it was back in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Did Hillary Clinton raise her voice? Did she publish a social media post? Did she complain at the time that, "Hey, Barack Obama, why are you saying that the White House is your house? It's not your house. It's the people's house." But now that Donald Trump is in office, and Donald Trump never said that the White House is his house. He's got lots of houses. He's got Mar-a-Lago. That's his house. He never said the White House is my house. We, the American people, put Donald Trump in the White House. We went to the polling location. We voted. Okay? We went and we did cast our ballots, and we elected Donald Trump, and we said to Donald Trump, "Mr. Trump, it's time for you to return to the White House. We're putting you in charge of our country. We're sending you to the White House, Mr. President, Mr. Donald Trump. And please, once you get to the White House, please make America great again. That's why we're sending you. It's the people's mandate." And that's the reason why Donald Trump is in the White House. He knows it's not his house, but we, the people, put him there. We said, "Mr. Trump, we want you back in the White House because your first term in office was so amazing, but we know that you faced a lot of challenges because the Democrats were throwing all kinds of problems at you. And so we're going to give you a second term in office, Mr. Trump, and we want you to go to the White House. We got lots of problems, the Biden border crisis, we got inflation, we got all kinds of high gas prices, we got manufacturing jobs being destroyed, so many problems we have. Our military isn't as strong as before, so we're putting you in charge. You're going to be the president. You're going back to the White House, and you're going to make the military strong again," which he did. "You're going to combat inflation," which he did. "You're going to lower gas prices," which he did. "You're going to bring back manufacturing jobs," which he did. "You're going to stop the Green New Scam," which he did. "You're going to make America greater than ever before," which he did. And he continues to do more work. So we put Donald Trump in the White House, and he knows it's not his house. And he never claimed that it's his house. So I don't know what's wrong with Hillary. I have no idea what's wrong with Hillary, okay? I mean, she lost in 2016, didn't run again. She should just not publish this kind of stuff. If she wants to do something productive with her time, if she wants to engage herself in charitable activities, whatever, she can do that. I think that would be a much better use of Hillary's time if she wants to, somehow find a way to help those in need, to do humanitarian stuff. If that's what she wants to do, she should just keep herself busy doing that. Politics is not for Hillary. Okay, and the American people made it very clear to Hillary Clinton that we're not going to let her become the president. She was rejected in 2016. She should just, walk away from the political scene and just stay busy with other projects, do other things. Okay. There's a lot of things she can do. There's a lot of things she can do, She can spend her time helping people in need. She can try to fight, poverty or something. Okay. I mean, President Trump is doing a lot of that work, to be honest with you, because he's making the economy great again. So when the economy really accelerates and gets to that point, it's already accelerating, but as more time goes by, people are going to be better off and poverty will be reduced because of overall growth in the economy. So, my friends, I just want to say that, Hillary, I don't know what she's trying to accomplish with that kind of a social media post, but really it's, she should just not talk about this project, this ballroom project. Okay, she doesn't have the standing because, she was rejected by the American people in 2016. So she should just let Donald Trump do what he's doing. Okay. All right, my friends. Gavin Newsom also posted something very silly on X. He said, and I quote, "ripping apart the White House," end quote. That's not ripping apart. That's not ripping apart. Kristen's here. Hi, Kristen. Good to see you. By the way, friends, please subscribe if you have not done so already. I would appreciate that. And yeah, please subscribe. Okay, someone's saying, "Oh no, this guy once again." Well, if you keep coming back to my channel, you obviously like watching my live streams. Kay Cooper is here. Always good to see Kay. All right, who else is here? Kenna says, "just subscribe." Thank you, Kenna. Thank you, Kenna. Others, please subscribe and make sure that you're supporting this channel by liking the video. I would appreciate that very much. So anyway, let's talk about Gavin Newsom. He said, ripping apart the White House. This is not ripping apart, just to be clear. Does Gavin Newsom does he not understand what groundbreaking means? Do you understand what groundbreaking is? Tommy Brown, good to see you. Do you understand what groundbreaking is? When you start a project, let's say you're going to build a big commercial building. Let's just assume that. There's an empty lot, a big area. You've got your plans and everything in place. And now it's a matter of just starting the work. The first thing that has to happen is the groundbreaking. Okay. Now, whether you do a ceremonial groundbreaking using a shovel, which, is pretty common whenever a lot of business people do that, whenever they're building their new building before the construction starts for a new bank branch or a new factory or a new apartment building, whatever, a new store, a new mall, whatever. Okay, so you'll see, and this happens all over the country. You'll see that, um, you know, folks from the local chamber of commerce, people who are associated with the organization that's building the project, the company that's going to do the construction, the company that did the design for the building, other people who are involved with the project, maybe the local mayor or the city councilor or elected officials who represent the area. They all come together and they do a ceremonial groundbreaking. Okay, they'll take shovels and just do a ceremonial event, take photographs. It's a kind of celebration at the start of the project, and then once the project is complete, you do the ribbon cutting. Okay, that's how it works. It's very, very common all over America. So what's happening when you see the image of that heavy construction equipment, breaking up the ground on White House grounds, that's groundbreaking. That's part of the project. That's the start of the project. You got to break the ground in order to construct something new. Okay? I mean, this is not Lego. If you're thinking it's Lego, that you're going to, take a Lego board and you're going to just put the bricks, the Lego pieces on top, and you're going to build a house, that's not how it works. This is actual construction. You have to break the ground and you have to create the environment for the new structure to be built. Okay? And Gavin Newsom is saying, oh, ripping apart the White House. This is so silly. I mean, do you expect this kind of a statement from the governor of a state, and the governor of a state as big as California? I don't understand this. I just don't understand this. How can he say ripping apart the White House? This is so silly. Okay? You literally need to break the ground, whether you do it through a ceremonial shovel, using a ceremonial shovel or heavy construction equipment. Okay, there's going to be dirt. There's going to be, a lot of sound, obviously. When you have heavy construction equipment, it's going to be very noisy. There will be hard hats, not hat like this, the actual hard hats that you have to wear for safety on a construction site. Okay, I mean, this is the most amazing hat in the world. Okay, so don't compare any hats with this one. Okay, the one you're looking at, this one that I'm wearing, okay, the message, Make America Great Again, makes this the best hat in the world. And this is not the only piece. So many people all over the country, they have hats, same hat, same size, maybe different color. Some are red, some are blue. Okay, some have the gold letters. Anyway, this is the best hat in the world, but that's not the hat we're talking about now. We're talking about the construction site hard hats. We're talking about the heavy boots, people working, noisy place, a lot of dirt. I mean, construction is tough business. All right. Anyway, I am looking forward to finding out when the construction of the ballroom will be complete. Reportedly, it's going to cost $250 million. Okay? $250 million. But you know what? Zero cost for the American taxpayer. This is being privately funded, and that is what you should understand. Let's see some comments here. Someone says, salute, Tosif. Thank you so very much. I get energy every single day to do these live streams. You know how I get my energy to do these live streams? Because I know that as soon as I start the live stream, I'm going to have so many friends joining me. And obviously, every day we're making new friends. There's always, every day, there's always, anywhere from a few to, hundreds of new subscribers. The other day we had 150 or 155 new subscribers. So those are new people who just discovered this channel and they wanted to be a part of the community, so they hit the subscribe button. Once again, let me remind you, it doesn't cost you anything. You just hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny, but by subscribing, you are becoming a part of this wonderful community of freedom-loving people that we have. Okay, so make sure that you subscribe. I appreciate that. All the new friends, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. All the new friends. All right. Give me a second here. I have a lot more to talk about. Okay, Evelyn just said something which I think needs to be repeated. Evelyn in the live chat just said, America first. Absolutely, America first. Now, my friends, will you please write America first, just like Evelyn did? Do you want to repeat that? Because that's the message. That's not just the message that we want to spread. That's the state of mind that we have. We want to put America first always. Tommy Brown just said America first. Others are saying America first. I'm going to read some names of people who are saying America first. Give me a second here. Let me read. Evelyn saying America first. Kristen saying, of course, America first. Tommy Brown is saying America first. Kay Cooper is saying America first. And let's see some others. There are others who are saying America first. Unit is saying America first. Okay. Bernie L, is that how I pronounce? Bernie L saying America first. Shay, is it Shay? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. Shay is saying America first. That is so great. You can see in the live chat, lots of people saying America first. Who else? Who else wants to say America first? There's someone else who's saying, I can't pronounce that name. It's S-E, and then let me try to read that, saying America first. Absolutely, my friends. Absolutely. John is saying, is it John Reiser? Is it Reiser or Reiser? But John, I'm talking to you. John is saying America first. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. It's always so amazing when I see Money is saying MAGA. Awesome. It's always great when I see more new names in the live chat, more new people coming and being a part of this community and saying America first, because really it's a state of mind. Everything we do, we have to put America first. So now let's go from Washington, D.C., because we were talking about the ballroom that's being constructed. But now I think we're going to go from Washington, D.C. to the American West Coast. Okay, are you ready to talk about California? Yeah, I did say it's a state of mind, because you have to have that state of mind. You have to say, you know what, everything I do, I'm going to put America first. No matter what I do, I'm going to put America first. So you have to have that message deep in your mind that whatever we do, we're going to put our country first, America first. So I think I said it correctly, okay? In case you didn't understand, I'm always happy to clarify, which I think I just did. So I hope that makes sense now. All right. All right. Shall we talk about California? But only if you're saying, yes, Tassif, let's do it. Let's talk about California. Kristen's asking, what about, and she's saying, I love what Kristen just said about California. Yeah, a lot of communists are there in California. Unbelievable, right? I mean, one would think, you look at California, you look at the wealth, you look at, all the businesses that are there. Sadly, a lot of businesses are leaving California, but for a very long time, California was such an amazing state. In fact, Ronald Reagan is from California. So it definitely was an amazing state, and then things changed. A lot of socialists and communists came to power in California, and they started spreading communism. But yeah, we're going to talk about California. In fact, I'm going to be more specific. We're not just going to talk about California, but we're going to talk about specifically San Francisco. Is there anyone here who's from San Francisco? Are you from San Francisco? Let me know. Let me know if you are from San Francisco. Okay, Matthew is asking, hey brother, how are we making things better for the American people with the 12-day government? It's not the 12-day government shutdown. If you have not been keeping track, it's now 21-day government shutdown, okay? It's not 12-day. It's much longer. We're past 12-day, all right? Because the fiscal year ended on September 30th. And we've been having this shutdown, and it's the Schumer shutdown. So you want to ask that question is going to be for the Democrats, because it's the Chuck Schumer, it's the Hakeem Jeffries, it's the AOC and the radical left shutdown. Okay? It is called the Schumer shutdown, but I think we can also call it the Hakeem Jeffries shutdown. We can call it the AOC and the radical left shutdown. Okay, whatever. I mean, I just gave you options. You want to call it the Schumer shutdown or the AOC shutdown or the Hakeem Jeffries shutdown? You make that decision. I'm not going to say anything. All right? So it's no longer 12 days. It's past 12 days. We're at 21 days now. 21 days. And the Democrats, every single day that the Democrats continue with their shutdown, we as a country, and I've said this probably a million times already, we are losing up to $15 billion in output every single day of the shutdown. It is truly heartbreaking, the damage that the Democrats are doing to our country. It's the Democrat shutdown, radical left shutdown. The Democrats are responsible for this government shutdown, my friends. So let's talk about San Francisco. I think San Francisco needs some help. I think so. I think that troop deployment to San Francisco would be a great decision. Do you think so? President Trump recently said that he plans on sending National Guard troops to San Francisco. That's why I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think President Trump should deploy National Guard troops in San Francisco? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the live chat. Evelyn says absolutely. Evelyn says absolutely. Tommy Brown says yes, send them. Paul says absolutely. Kay Cooper says yes. I believe San Francisco, the people of San Francisco, they need help. I think deploying National Guard troops to San Francisco would be a great decision overall. I hope it happens. And you know what? The Democrats in San Francisco, they are in absolute panic mode right now. They're like, oh my God, what in the world is going on? That's exactly how the Democrats feel. They are in panic mode when they found out that President Trump has plans on sending National Guard troops to San Francisco. My friends, it's all about safety and security. Do you know that a lot of people don't feel safe going to San Francisco? You know why? Because of the lawlessness, because of all the crazy things that happens there. I mean, think about it. San Francisco is a sanctuary city. Of course, the entire state of California is a sanctuary state, so that automatically makes San Francisco a sanctuary city. But on its own, San Francisco is a sanctuary city, and we don't want sanctuary cities. You know, when the American people, back in November 2024, when they went to the polling location and they voted for Donald J. Trump, by doing so, the American people overwhelmingly rejected the idea of sanctuary city. Okay? The American people, by voting for Donald Trump, by electing Donald Trump, by electing Republicans to be in charge in the Senate, by making sure that the Republicans continue to be in charge in the House, the American people sent a message that was loud and clear that we, the American people, we reject this idea of sanctuary city. There must not be any sanctuary city for the illegal immigrants. But yet, still, we see San Francisco being a sanctuary. And so when President Trump says that he's going to send the National Guard troops there, that he plans to do that he might do it, you know what? I am happy. I would love to see the troops being deployed in San Francisco, because the people who live there, they're suffering. They're suffering because of the lawlessness, and they need relief. So the troops can go in, and I would say the ICE agents go into San Francisco, catch the criminal illegal aliens, and make San Francisco safe again, make San Francisco great again. Make San Francisco great again, my friends. A lot of people, trust me, it used to be such an amazing city once upon a time. What a beautiful city, San Francisco. And now, a lot of people, if you ask them, hey, do you want to go on a tour of the beautiful cities in America? And the person says, yes, yeah, let's go on a tour. Let's go to some of the most beautiful places in America. Let's go to the beautiful cities. Let's do a tour. And you tell them, hey, how about we add San Francisco to the list? And they'll say, no, we're going to skip San Francisco. We're not going to San Francisco. We'll go anywhere else. We'll go to Las Vegas. All right? We're going to go to Dallas. But we're not going to go to San Francisco. All right? We're going to go to Miami. But we're not going to San Francisco. People will say that. Okay? Somebody just said something very negative about Las Vegas. No, Las Vegas, we're going to make Las Vegas great again. Las Vegas, Nevada overall, I mean, you just wait and see. You just wait and see. Nevada, in the not so distant future, Nevada is going to elect a Republican U.S. Senator. It is coming. It is coming. It's going to happen. You just wait and see. You just wait and see. All right? If the Democrats thought that they have control over Nevada, okay? No. Nevada is slipping away from the Democrat control. I'm telling you that. Hold on a second. Now, you have to remember one thing. In 2024, let me ask you this. Which presidential candidate did Nevada choose, the voters of Nevada? Tell me. Did they vote for Donald J. Trump or did they vote for Kamala Harris? Somebody should answer that question, because I think there was a very negative comment written about Las Vegas by someone here. Okay? Let me ask, who won Nevada? Which presidential candidate got the Electoral College votes from Nevada? Who wants to answer? Tommy Brown says Trump. Evelyn says Trump. Yeah. Anyone else wants to share an answer? There's someone else who's saying Trump. Yeah. Now, let me ask you. Tommy Brown says Trump. Evelyn says Trump. And there was another viewer whose name I just skipped, says Trump. Now, do you think they're correct? Do you want to go double check if Trump won Nevada in 2024 or not? Kay Cooper says Trump all the way. Do you think they're right? Do you think Evelyn just gave us the correct answer? Do you think Kay Cooper and Tommy Brown, they gave us the correct answer or not? Do you think that the answer is wrong? Are you going to go check? Do you want to do a Google search? Do you feel confident that Kamala won Nevada in 2024? Or was it Trump? I mean, I am inclined to trust Evelyn's answer because Evelyn lives in Nevada. Okay? I think Evelyn, I believe your answer, right? Trump won Nevada. That's right. You can go fact check. Trump won Nevada. So anyone who thinks that the Democrats control Nevada, no. No, it may seem like that, but you got to see the trends. And the trend says that Nevada is becoming more and more Republican. Very soon, might take a few years, but we're going to see Nevada elect a Republican U.S. Senator. That's coming in the not so distant future. Okay? In the not so distant future, it's going to happen. And so, anyway, back to San Francisco. You talk to a tourist who wants to go on a tour of beautiful American cities. Okay? A tourist who wants to visit places in Texas, places in Florida, Orlando, Miami, other places, Tallahassee. Somebody who wants to visit other other beautiful cities around the country, and then you ask them, hey, let's visit San Francisco, the person's going to say no. A lot of tourists, they don't want to go to San Francisco anymore because it's because of the drugs, because of the homelessness problems, because of the squatting, because of all the lawlessness, because of all the crazy things that happen, the crime, the break-ins, and I mean, you park a car and you've got a backpack in the car. The thieves can see it through the glass that there's a backpack there. They are likely, it's quite likely that your car may be broken into. It's crazy. It's crazy what happens in San Francisco. It's amazing. It's like it's mind-boggling, the level of crime in San Francisco. And on top of that, you got the criminal illegal aliens hiding in San Francisco because it's their sanctuary city. So I think it's time for President Trump to take strong action, send in the troops, the National Guard. They can go in, the ICE agents, other federal agents can go in and clean up the city, make San Francisco great again. Who can oppose that? Who can oppose that? Make San Francisco great again. It's about safety, it's about security. And a lot of people who are looking for a way to get out of San Francisco now because they're sick and tired of the crime, maybe they'll still stay back. If President Trump can clean up that city, maybe they'll say, you know what? Things have changed. San Francisco looks a lot better now. Thanks to President Trump, we're going to continue living here. Because if there is no safety, if there is no security in a city, people just don't want to live there anymore. They don't want to have their business there anymore. They don't want to run their restaurants and stores and other things. They want to get out of that place. So I hope President Trump sends the National Guard troops to San Francisco. Okay? And I hope that in the not so distant future, maybe San Francisco leaders will decide to get rid of the sanctuary city designation for San Francisco. It should not be a sanctuary city. And California should not be a sanctuary state. Okay? Those are my thoughts. All right. All right. Okay. Wow, I just see some of the comments in the live chat telling me, show your papers. I'm a US citizen, all right? And actually, you can find a video of my citizenship ceremony on YouTube, okay? Go to my website here. Hold on. Hold on, I'm going to give you my website address. So I pinned my website address to the top of the chat screen. It says tosifanam.net. You go to my website, you're going to find my citizenship ceremony video, actually. And I hope you watch that. Someone's asking, when did you become a citizen? I became a citizen in 2014. All right, so more than 10 years ago. In 2014, 2014. I'm reading your comments. That's why I'm silent. Someone says uh, that I'm silent. I'm reading your comments. Yeah, I already blocked an individual who was writing really ugly stuff. Okay, I just blocked someone. Someone's saying you became a citizen under Obama's presidency. Hey, listen, if you're if you're gonna be going that route and saying, "Oh, you became a citizen when Obama was president," let me. Okay, if you want to go that route, then you need more information. You need the complete picture. That's a very interesting comment that I saw. Oh, you became a citizen under Obama's presidency. Do you know when I came to the United States, who was in the White House? Do you know who was in the White House when I came to the US? When I got my immigrant visa to come to the United States, do you know which administration was in power? I mean, if you if you're gonna be saying, oh, you became a citizen when Obama was president, well, let me tell you, George Bush, all right, George Bush was the president when I came to the United States. So if you're gonna be going that route, it's not gonna make any sense. Oh, you became a citizen when Obama was president. Well, when I came to the United States, when I got the visa to come to the United States, it was the Bush administration, all right? Okay, now someone's saying, do you realize you could not become a citizen under this administration? Hey, listen, to anyone who is trying to make a comment like that, oh, you couldn't have become a citizen under this let me tell you, and I've said this before, so I apologize to those who have heard me say this before, because I'm repeating this. When Donald Trump visited Wisconsin and a particular place in Wisconsin that he visited last year, it's called Waunakee, Wisconsin. It was a historic visit. Okay. When Donald Trump visited Waunakee, Wisconsin to do an event here, I was invited to lead everyone in the Pledge of Allegiance at Donald Trump's event. Because before Donald Trump starts his speech, there are ceremonial things that have to happen. So there was an amazing singer who sang the national anthem. There was a pastor who said the prayers. And I was invited to lead everyone in the Pledge of Allegiance at Donald Trump's event. So for anyone who says, oh, you couldn't have become a citizen under this administration, there are people becoming citizens under this administration. Are you trying to say that citizenship ceremonies are not taking place? Is that what you want to say? Those who follow the law, they are becoming US citizens. Those who follow the law, those who have their papers in order, those who want to be Americans and they want to contribute to the growth and success of the United States, they are becoming citizens. Citizenship ceremonies have not stopped. okay? But we obviously need to do strong vetting, and that's what the administration is doing, okay? And of course, we're not going to just open up the gates like Biden did. Biden opened up the border and allowed all the illegal aliens to come in. We're not going to do that. Oh, look at this guy named Rob writing such a nasty comment. Listen, as I said, I was invited to lead everyone in the Pledge of Allegiance on the same stage at the event where President Trump spoke last year. Okay, so I don't. I'm not going to repeat that, and I think that says it all. By the way, I do want to thank all the trolls for being here. I appreciate it because maybe you don't realize this, but you're actually giving me something very valuable. You're giving me your time. You're spending a tremendous amount of time listening to what I have to say, and for that I shall always be forever grateful. Actually, I'm forever grateful for all the time that you're spending on my channel, and you're commenting, even if you're busy trolling or writing things that are supposed to um, be in opposition to my viewpoints, but you're still spending a lot of time here, and for that, I'm really grateful. I appreciate it. All right, so my friends, almost 90 minutes into the live stream. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Um, all right. Okay, great. So I'm going to be doing live stream again. I try to do one every day. So I hope that you're going to come back for the next live stream. So make sure that you subscribe so you can stay connected and be notified when I start the next one. So I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so very much, my friends. May God bless you all. May God bless President Donald J. Trump. May God bless the Trump administration. May God bless the Republicans in Washington. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless our U.S. allies. And may God bless freedom-loving people all over the world. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to those who always come here to express their support and send me their words of encouragement. And also to those who are here opposing my viewpoints. I still appreciate your time. All right. Thank you, my friends. May God bless you all. All right. Have a good night, and I'll be back again very soon. Thank you.